And we're back, and now we have to fight a forest again. Maybe I don't know.
But are we missing the forest for the trees?
I mean, it was such a softball. Of course, I named the episode that.
Low hanging fruit and all of that.
Yeah, I mean the fruit just hanged even lower because it came down and tried to grab us.
Well, and then of course they wouldn't leave you alone.
Hey.
So you had to get to the root of the problem.
I give the first one a pass because I didn't actually even notice it until Citric went a.
I could keep going, and that's the worst part.
Oh, I know.
I believe their bark is worse than their bite.
Yeah, well, of course you all were barking up the wrong tree.
Mm-hmm.
I also love that this current meme is doing the rounds. I'll post it in call text and then I'll explain it for chat. Have to always do things so that way Twitter will actually show up to other people on Discord. But yeah, it's the disappointed. It's the disappointed louse from Dungeon Meshi, where he went to a parade, but instead he thought it was lions and dressed as such.
I still need to watch more episodes of that show. I've only seen the first two.
I think we're up to episode 16, but I only watch it with a dedicated group after Saved by the Spell on weekends.
It is such a
I
good
think
show. I think I'm on 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think the season already ramped, right?
Possibly, I don't know.
Again, I don't keep up, but I think I heard that we are like we already got the last episode we were going to get for a while.
That's fair. I mean, with the animation quality they had, give them all the time they want.
Yeah, no, I think it ended on. Let me check. Yeah, 3 days ago. It's episode 23 came out 3 days ago, and I think that's the last one.
That's fair. That's about a good season size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, do we want to start going around the horn, letting people know where they can find other people?
Sure thing.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Not it.
Ah, dang. Not it.
I'll go. Hi, I'm Sheila. You can find me on Instagram at mugimira.cos, mugimira.cos. And since we were talking about Dungeon Meshi, I think one of my next cosplays is going to be Senshi.
Heck yeah.
He's the best character.
Yes, he is.
I can't wait. Yes. And I will pass it to Citric.
Me. Hi, hello, I'm Citric. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Citricking, anywhere being Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, now on Kara, since people are pushing that one. Then what else? Tumblr. Yeah, places. Type my name and probably I am there, even if I'm not interacting. I draw stuff every now and then, and you will see it at those places. Other than that, I am here every other Sunday with this group of Chuckle Fox. And that is pretty much all me, so I'm throwing it back to Zeris.
Hello. I can be found not at Kara, but everywhere else on the internet at Textixel, where I am forgetting to upload my art, and then having Vaughn remind me on stream that I need to upload my art. You can also find me here every other Saturday for No No Love War Extra, where we are doing so much.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting through fate. We will die like men trying. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Otherwise, you can find me here doing the Dungeon Master thing for this particular campaign every second and fourth Sunday, where you can also find, and this is how I must segue, our lovely friend Zan. Where can they find you?
Hey gang, Santalis Grim here. Other resident chucklefuck. You can find me We should be on for Stalwart Soul soon. Unfortunately, I'm kind of in the middle of moving things, so it's probably not going to be on tomorrow. Things might change, but probably not tomorrow. However, Tuesday we should be back on Edward Bosco's channel at twitch.tv/Edward Bosco for some more Halo 5 Lasso. Yay! I think that's around 5 p.m. So if you want to hear us suffer for hours on end, go there. Aside from that, on Thursdays, you can find me over at twitch.tv/MontyGlue, where I play a really sad human fighter for her Dungeon of the Mad Mage series. We're pretty deep in. I think we are almost at session 75 now. We're pretty deep in. But you can
Ooh.
find that over at around 7 p.m. PST over on her channel. And I've got some other things cooked up at the moment, but that is all I can say at present. So with that, I will throw it over to The Last of Us Chucklefucks with Burnout.
Yes, I accept this designation. But hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky, if it will ever start loading again, at Burnout Vaughn, and over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar, where I'm gonna try to get something for you guys out there soon. I'm trying my best. I'm fighting for my life. But, when I'm not fighting for my life to get content out for all the people that help support me, I am also streaming, which will continue from today into tomorrow, which is where we're gonna have more Wizard Sips Plays over on Zymocyte's channel, as we are joined by CG. So we have the in-characters of Daedalus, Iapetus, and Salus. A lot of us's. But we're playing through Resident Evil 5, and so far, like, when we can get the lobby to work, we are having a great time. It's very fun. Then on Tuesday, we jump right back in for more D&D as we get into our Wild Beyond the Witchlight game phase of our lives. We are currently murder hoboing, but we've been, like, ordered to murder hobo, so it's, like, legally acceptable murder hoboing. It's very confusing. But aside from that, then on the following Saturday, we will have the return to Saved by a Spell, where I have just gotten my own second ever vampire nemesis that I must now kill. And all it cost me was my senpai, who was literally blown up. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. So, if you want to see the fallout from that, go on and check out the YouTube, where we got everything up in handy little playlists. But now it's time for us to listen to our lovely theme song, brought to us by X Wiley Willie, as I take us away. And I return.
Here
We're
we
off to a
are.
great start.
Yeah.
He's back from the dead, everybody.
He survived the intro
He did.
against all odds.
Yeah. All 20 of them.
Mm-hmm.
With advantage, by the way.
Those are far better odds.
Yeah, for real. All right. Well, since we're here, which one of you all would like to remind everyone what happened last week. Last 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. Time is an illusion.
Please, someone
It's a
else.
flat
I am
circle.
still waiting for the caffeine to hit.
I think I went last week. I can't remember.
Yeah, I swallowed a bunch of Renfair dirt yesterday, so
Ah,
my
okay.
throat isn't in the best condition to speak.
Alrighty then. Well, so last time, having narrowly survived both a giant werewolf and the failing internet of a storm in real life, we actually got the party back together, and we decided to figure out exactly what we wanted to do. So we went back to the town hall, raided it for all the silver weapons that it could have, and then threw an axe in the air and let it decide where we were going to go. And then we walked, and we walked, and then we met a quote-unquote cat that we now refer to only as Annoyance, because they
Which,
yeah.
really quickly, since you brought them up. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh.
It's important.
They're bluer
Yeah.
than I expected, but nice.
Please continue.
But yes, we named them as such because they speak very circuitously. Aside from that, we traveled through the forest where we found Annoyance, and the forest then came to life and tried to attack us for reasons we do not understand. And we fought back, took a lot of damage, used up most, if not all, of our resources, and now we're running. We should be going. Unless there's anything else I forgot.
Think that's about it. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Given how damaged I am and how little resources I have left, I will take the inspiration and hold on to it strongly.
sure. Absolutely. Wow. You are still amongst the trees. The only other thing that I feel like I should add, just because I think it's funny to bring up, is the fact that whilst the combat was ensuing last session, Onyx had opted not to participate and instead chase Annoyance for territorial reasons.
Revengeful reasons.
That too. It feels very important to note that was a crucial part of the dynamics at play.
Also, they started it. It's it's important to note.
Did they?
Yes, they
Did they,
began with
though?
the mockery.
That's fair. Yeah, I suppose that's fair. So, as we accidentally shut down all of my subtabs.
You don't need them.
Don't worry,
You know?
I feel your sympathy and neurodivergency, just the small heart attack whenever that happens.
Yeah.
You know what this
All
is.
right, there we go. There we go. So, we reconvene. The trees, or at least you're pretty certain they were trees, had been, shall we say, defeated. And the technically four of you, as the fifth is not currently identifiable. Of course, if you would like to make perception checks to try to find the Annoyance, you are
Absolute.
welcome to.
Will do. Sorry, rolling this a little bit slow. I don't know why.
You're good.
It's a 27.
27. So, what's interesting about, I think in particular because of the combination of your height and the simple fact that you do not have eyes. I find it very hilarious that you are able to detect a hanging crooked tail off of one of the tree branches. A little ways down, probably about 15 feet away from you, on the, shall we say, healthier side of the forest, on the other side of the path.
Mm-hmm.
But with that noted, the 5 of you find yourself in the middle, quite literally the middle of the path. You acknowledge the sickly trees to one side, as previously mentioned, and the seemingly normal trees on the other side of the path. And I would like to start the session off with 2 rolls from all of you. And we'll start with the first, which is a perception check. Yes, separate from this one.
Very well. 17.
20.
15.
I'm having roll 20 trouble again.
It happens.
Yes, the dice is loading once again. Okay.
Roll 20 has chosen violence.
Roll 20 always chooses
Or-
violence.
$18.
18. So, all of you will get advantage on this roll, as I now need a dexterity saving throw from all of you.
Oh boy.
Hiya! Think for the advantage.
13.
That's a 7 or a 6. Which was that one.
Well, you were actually being carried.
Was that a natural one?
Luckily
was
no,
not.
because we have advantage.
No,
Yep,
my
because you
bardic
all have
inspiration.
advantage.
Right.
21.
You benefit from my misery. Well, still a 7. So, what happens?
All right. So you all notice a bit of trembling beneath your feet, and you notice movement in the tree line as you are all wary and on your feet. Unfortunately, Humphrey and Razvan, both of you find, though initiative is not in play, vines moving up from below your feet and wrapping around your ankles. The both of you. Onyx, you see a root try to extend itself in an attempt to trip you and knock you prone, but you manage to jump over it very nimble-like. It's a close call, but you're able to do so and walk it off as if nothing happened. Very, very cat-like. Branson, you are annoyed. You simply You simply move your body 5 feet to the left.
Usually Branson would choose
And
violence,
just-
but right now he is actively bleeding.
Uh-huh. Yep. Just step out of the way. And no damage is taken, but Razvan and Humphrey, you are grappled.
Mhm.
Okay. Can we see, I assume, the grappling tendrils around us?
You can. You could also feel them.
Razvan's gonna try and hack away the grappling effect with his rapier.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll.
That's a 16 to hit. If it's a hit roll.
That will hit.
For 8 piercing.
Yeah. It snaps in half. You notice it kind of wriggle and writhe a little bit, the side that still seems to be connected to the ground.
Razvan's gonna run away from the thing and go closer towards, or go away from wherever they seem to be ebbing from.
Go ahead and just, with advantage this time, roll me another dexterity saving throw, Razvan.
24.
Yeah, to answer your question, they seem to be coming up from below your feet. Seems to be, I don't want to say tracking your movements, but as you stop in place once again, moving farther away from where you were previously standing, once you take a moment to just kind of reassess, they pop up again from the ground and you move out of the way without a hitch.
Do they appear magical in nature or natural? Can I
You
ask that?
may roll me of your choice, either an Arcana or a Nature check.
Arcana it is 16.
You don't detect any spell going off necessarily. I will give you this. From the last battle, you remember one of the shall we say attacks that the creatures you fought could do was to maneuver their roots underneath the ground and have them spring up and either attack or grapple at your feet. This seems to be non-magical, but it seems to be a similar effect.
Okay. Whatever we are doing here.
It cut you off at whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
I like to imagine in this moment that Razvan is like, whatever we are doing here, and just starts running.
just JoJo's run from Cheez It!
You there, son? Yeah, he mentioned his internet might be a little
Yep.
bit. Okay, well,
Yep.
In the meantime, though, one question:
Sure.
Have 10 minutes passed since last session?
I would say 5.
5. Awesome.
There's
So
Anne.
Astral Arms should still be active.
Yes, correct.
So,
Has he
Again.
returned?
He's in the.
I'm back.
mm,
Yeah.
I think it
Welcome back.
there you are.
blipped
Welcome
out
back.
again.
Yeah, no
you
worries.
had said
Whatever we do.
whatever we do, and then disappeared.
Oh, we better hurry. Was the end of that statement? That was it.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Whatever we
You're
do,
right.
dies.
So for his part, Humphrey is still empowered by the basically the inner energy he mustered up at the end of last combat, and with both the confidence and knowledge of like starting to use his body more actively, he will try to break the grapple. And because he's a plasmoid, I get advantage on that.
Yeah. Yes.
And also because of Astral Arms, I can replace my strength bonus for checks and saves. So I will choose athletics, replacing
Okay.
my strength bonus for the wisdom one. With advantage, that would be at 23 to break the grapple.
Yeah, you are able to break the grapple. How do you break the grapple?
Honestly, he just like moves away, moves his liquid body, and
Just flubs it out.
yeah, he's like, "Oh no, I'm trapped." Wait, and just moves the feet. Like
I'm just imagining it like ebb and flow, sort of like how do I put this? Like capillary effects out and kind of spills out over top.
I more actually pictured him just pulling like a Gear 3, just making it super big, like pulling the tentacle in and just like exploding out his leg.
Excellent.
I
10
mean,
out
yeah,
of 10.
the pulling force he's exerting is far above the gravel, but he's mainly just moving like himself around the gravel. It's like, huh. And yeah, he moves back with the rest of the group. We need to keep moving. We need to get out of this forest.
Well, I'm not going to put up any arguments. Just continue to book it.
I will say, for the record, if you're trying to get out of the forest, it's a little late to do that.
Humphrey looks up. So, any suggestions?
Well, I already made mine, and you didn't want to do it. So now we must commit.
We, as in you are with us.
It blinks at you. Slow blink.
Do they seem to be like bothered at all about by the rest of the forest? Attacked at all? No.
Can you
Or it's
repeat that?
just the
I'm so
ground?
sorry.
Oh no, are they being bothered at all by the rest of the forest, or it does be some only happening at ground level?
Well, is that in character or above game?
I am asking, like in character, like Humphrey's looking at, because he looked up to Annoyance, and he now looking up, he's trying to realize, like, is there any danger above? Because we are being attacked from below.
I would say definitely. It's hard to say, because there is danger afoot everywhere. There are things that are hidden in the trees. There are things above the trees, depending on where you are and what direction they are going. There are things below the ground. There are the trees themselves. And, of course, there are things that are moving, of course, into the woods themselves.
Into the woods.
Into the woods. As opposed to out of them.
So
At this
what do we
point,
do?
At this point, following your lead, Annoyance does stand up from where they are lounging in the tree, and they proceed to start, shall we say, tree hopping? Well, you said you wanted to keep moving forward, so we should keep moving forward, should we not?
Humphrey looks at the rest of the group. How good are you guys at climbing?
You'll notice that Branson is keeping a wound closed.
I'll take that as a no. I took it up.
Sorry, you got cut off for me.
Oh?
Oh yeah, you got cut off for me. Well, for me anyway.
For anyone
Hello?
else?
Yeah, you keep breaking up, but I wasn't sure if it was my internet connection or.
No, it's good to know that. Let me jump out and jump in if I am
Yeah,
finished.
because you're now starting to really fully robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we should start keeping a tally.
You say that, we have Bubba in chat.
I know we do. Welcome back.
Any better?
Yes.
Much, much better.
Very much so.
Yeah, no, I had to exit Discord entirely. Okay, so where did I left?
Basically, the part where you were asking, like how everyone was at climbing, I believe.
Yeah. So far, Annoyance
Well,
seems to be...
as I demonstrated in our battle with the trees, I'm quite adept at jumping, leaping, and climbing.
So far, Annoyance seems to be the one among all of us to have a better handle of this place. Against my better judgment, We might need to follow them.
I mean, I would hope so. I live here.
How?
Of course you do.
What?
To the
Looks
trees,
like
then.
they're staring at you with like big cat eyes. Like what?
That's it. We're having a cat staring contest right now.
Yeah, Humphrey will climb a tree.
It's like when two cats like raise their back muscles and arch and just kind of look at each other like, who's gonna do it first? Who's gonna do it first?
Are you gonna go?
Wait,
Do you wanna go?
And then they
I
run.
will send. Yeah, I'm gonna send a picture of my cats demonstrating in chat
Oh, good, amazing.
because they do it all the time.
So, if you are choosing to climb a tree, I will need an acrobatics or athletics. I will let you choose.
A 12.
I will use athletics because I still have that empowered.
I'm going with athletics as well. Oh no, I'm gonna go with acrobatics actually.
That's fine.
Okay, acrobatics. 19.
Is Branson going up the tree?
No, Branson is very much not a climber. Also, again,
Very
like I
valid.
said, I'm literally at half health, and I'm flavoring it as like he is literally holding his shoulder wound like compressed to keep it from extra bleeding.
For sure. Absolutely. So, Razvan, you're not the most graceful of climbers. As far as I understand your character, climbing is not necessarily your strongest of suits. Not that you can't do it.
Well, he's more of a city folk. Makes sense.
Yeah. But you do manage to get up the tree. It just is not the most graceful sight in the world. Humphrey, I regret to inform you, my friend, that trying to climb while being a blob is an experience you have yet to have attempted, and thus find it far more difficult than you realized it would be. Your body betraying you along the way.
It was more of the idea like him being able to climb, but the weight just falling off the branch. It's like blap.
Yup.
Like dripping down. But
Yup.
yeah, no.
Yup. It's far more for however you want to flavor it. It's far more difficult than you anticipated.
Yeah. Like, wrong it is, Mr. Branson.
Onyx, you are a cat.
Yes, I am cat.
I don't need to tell you that you made it into the tree. You are a cat.
Well, now here's the
Use a
question.
meow meow.
Now here comes the actual problem. They will never be able to come down now. All right, but sounds like we are going to go with both the sky party and land party.
Mm-hmm.
Sky party and land party. So
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
yeah,
just
I'm
like
sorry.
leap from branch to branch,
We're playing
and you can
StarCraft?
follow Hunter.
So then this poses a very interesting I don't want to say conundrum. I don't want to say like query. How I'm going to do this moving forward is going to be very fascinating. So why don't I start with my Sky team and ask very politely for yet another perception check.
There's something in there.
That's an 18.
Money.
20. And then for my ground team, I'm going to ask
Mhm.
for a survival check.
Okay.
Will do. That's a 17.
Nice
16.
rolls, y'all.
He is
All
stuck
right,
for it.
Sky team. Sky team, 18 and 20. A couple things that you notice. To answer the previous question that Humphrey had asked about whether or not it was safer to be on the ground or on shall we say, in the air. It quickly becomes apparent to both of you that all of the danger seems to be on the right side of the path. Following Annoyance's decision, you had all gone up the trees on the left side of the path, where all of them seemed to be more, well, displaying signs of adequate tree health. Even someone who doesn't spend a lot of time in the woods would be able to recognize a distinctive difference between the two different sides of the forest that the path has cut between. And it dawns on both of you as you watch the wriggling, writhing branches, the vines, and the roots below from the other side of the path that, at least for now, it's not necessarily about whether or not it's the ground or the sky, but rather how far away are you from all of those writhing appendages. The other thing that you both notice is that on this side, at least, you start to notice amongst the trees fruit. Surprising for this particular type of climate. It is a swamp, but you do notice a fruit, and it seems to be, at the very least, this very like desaturated yellowish orange with little red speckles all along its skin, or its exterior, rather. You notice surrounding it a myriad of different peach-colored and yellow-colored blossoms. You notice that these trees they're not like full or covered in them, but you do notice a small spattering here and there among. Another thing that you notice, this is your third and final thing that you notice up in the tree line, is that you notice, well, interestingly enough, not much in terms of the sign of small prey. In other words, nests. Squirrel nests, for example. Bird nests. You haven't come across any. You don't see any signs of nestaging happening. It's rather barren up here on this side of the wood. And then, for my ground team, you both notice, first and foremost, again, as you continue to walk, the two of you, and we will get to these roles undoubtedly, notice that there is still movement happening beneath your feet. But again, as you get far enough to the side, the other side of the path, you notice it seems to not stop entirely, but it does start to, shall we say, the forest itself almost starts to get a hint that it cannot reach you. The same goes for the vines that try to wrap around you, try to reach out to catch you. And beyond that, a few other things that you notice. First and foremost, you start, as you have gone along, start to notice tracks in the ground. This is where survival starts to make more sense. Both of you recognize these as bestial in nature, and some humanoid in nature. It looks like this path is one that's actually frequently used, or at least it was. Though neither of you are super proficient in the ways of animals, and by that I mean neither of you are druids or rangers, but you were able to tell at the very least that various different types of beasts. Yes?
I mean, my character might think he's a ranger.
He might think, but above game, he's not. And therefore, you are able to determine simply that it is bestial in nature. You notice the, shall we say, claws and the paw pads. I'll give you that much. And you also notice boot prints of various shapes and sizes. You do not notice, however, signs of, for example, like a cart or a wheel amongst the tracks. You don't see any like straight lines. And finally, you both notice something very, very strange about the tree line as you start to continue to push deeper into the woods. And that is whatever is affecting the right side of the woods is starting to creep onto the path as if trying to reach the other side. And this isn't even in movement. This is simply the way that roots are growing or were growing, the way that certain plants that seem more, you don't know if it's sick, you don't know if it's and blighted, you don't know if it's cursed or if it's just simply its own nature, but whatever it is that is happening, the plants, the lower foliage, like the ferns, for example, or the bushes, or even some of the more, I think a lot of people like to call them weeds, but they're the spreading vines and the lower, the lower level plants that might pop up in little pockets are slowly starting to creep along the pathway. That was a lot of information. Let me know if I need to repeat myself.
No, I'm good.
I think I got it.
If we follow the tracks, we should find the way to civilization.
Seems to be that way. Let's hope that wherever we go, people are still alive.
Then might I
tracks.
recommend we pick up the pace?
I am trying to give up, Mr. Razvan. Trust me, I am.
Branson will just glare up while then just firmly clutching his shoulder.
Just start throwing
Onyx
Humphrey
makes
like
eye
a football.
contact. Onyx makes eye contact with Branson while hanging upside down from a branch.
Just a.
Well, we can.
Oh, go ahead.
We can keep an eye out for anything dangerous from up here.
A nod, and then just again trying to go as fast as we can, given our situation.
I do have to ask, if you don't mind. I realize that I'm intruding immensely, but it seems that since you're lost, you might, oh, I don't know, might have some idea of where it is you want to go. Where do you want to go? You said you're looking for civilization. Is that just in general, or?
Yes.
You are intruding immensely.
Also that, but I will settle for answers. Yes, any kind of civilization.
Interesting. Well, that poses a very... May I ask? Your name was Branson, right?
Yes.
What kind of civilization?
The peaceful kind, and also preferably the alive kind. The last place we came from was completely scoured of life by beasts.
Oh, unfortunate. Oh, that must have been... I understand what happened. Right. Well, I'll tell you what. If we continue to follow this path, it'll probably take us about 5 days to reach the next town over. It's a little tiny place. Not even sure it's actually technically on the map, but I'm sure if you're looking for anything alive, it'll be well suited.
Not ideal, but...
Of course. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're providing more relevant information. You go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So, the one thing that I will note is, of course, that is if you follow the path. If you do take shortcuts, though danger would increase, I would say that you would get there sooner than later.
Right now, we just need to get at least to someplace safe where we can rest and mend our wounds.
Just kind of stares at you with big eyes. Well, what do you think? Looks to the rest of the party.
Safety is priority. Wherever we are not attacked, I'm good to go.
We are injured and tired, and low on resources. Finding any place that is safer than this would be preferable.
Well, I didn't want to do this. That would have been unfun and unamusing, but I suppose if you want my help, I could offer for just a moment. Besides information, of course, I've given you plenty. I could offer you just a slight bit of help.
Looks to Humphrey.
Humphrey just nods.
We would be very grateful.
Wow. Proceeds to do like one of those big long stretches, front and then back. Sits still. Does one of those things where it's like, if it were a human, it would probably be cracking its neck, but it seems to just kind of shake its head a little bit. I hope you don't mind, then, if I take a little bit of an initiative, and this is me screaming at D&D Beyond to load, please. Where? I would love for it to load. Could you please load? Thank you. Thank you. Incredible.
Sheila, if I Venmo you $5, will you have Onyx scruff Annoyance?
Oh, I will do that for free.
I'm sorry. It's giving me the spinning wheel of death.
No, that's okay.
I wanted to make sure that I had this correct before
So-
there it is. All right. Okay. So, stretches, shakes its head, and you hear this really weird sound as it and as it makes that sound, you all feel a wave of energy hit you collectively. As you all take
Oh.
excellent. That is 14 points of negative damage.
Ah,
Oh
We
my
healing?
goodness.
Healing.
Heck yeah.
though that is a good thing because negative energy was a type of damage in old editions.
Yeah.
This is 14, right?
14, yep.
Perfect.
I am 1 point shy of full, so I am happy about that at least.
Yeah, I'm close to full as well.
Listen, I can't do that all the time, but if you're worried about danger and being able to survive the woods, at the very least, if you're going to at least allow me to stick around, this is, I guess, my way of saying thank you.
Notices himself feeling a lot better. It's like, well, it's certainly very helpful. Thank you.
No, thank you. As
If
it
you are a
proceeds to retch after saying thank you.
Just imagine they.
if
I
you
will.
are but
Well, no. What I've realized is that I was gonna say I want to believe that when ever they say thank you, they hack up a hairball, but they're obviously a hairless cat.
Uh-huh.
hack
But
up
you were
someone
gonna
else's
say
hair.
Ew, why would I do that? That's gross. You were going to say though, Razvan?
If you are in fact a creature of this forest, and you seem quite interested in seemingly anyone out of the ordinary that would live here, am I to presume that we are the first adventurers you have seen in some time?
In some time, yes. And, for the record, how do I want to word this? You're the first that has actually helped me solve a problem.
The wolves.
May I. Yes. May I assume it was the canine variety?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we are more than willing to entertain whatever notions of enjoyment you might have. But as I said, while we appreciate, of course, the assistance in wounds and guidance, we need rest. It has been some time since we have arrived in this place and have not managed to find shelter for even a moment.
Well, unfortunately, the truth is that you're going to have to create it for yourself. Like I said, it's going to take a minimum of 3 if you want to cut through, or 5 if you want to keep moving forward to reach your next destination.
Branson, I am just about out of any arcane ability for the day. I am willing to try the shortcut and rely on my martial abilities, but I do not know if you are feeling the same.
We have no other choice but to take the shortcut. We only have 3 days of rations.
That's
Very
true.
well. Shortcut it is.
Watch as the hairless cat proceeds to turn left into the, shall we say, healthier side of the woods, and proceeds to start moving forward. For the sake of ease, I am going to do a little bit of fast travel, if we will. Not to getting there, but to your first night of, I'm assuming, camping, unless you're planning on pulling an all-nighter.
This
Let's
both
not
both
with
the spell
exhaustion.
both the spellcasters sitting here like we would like our spells back in the dangerous place.
That's what I assumed. So, here is my question to you, the party. How will you build yourself camp? How will you set up camp? For
Well,
your
Rosman's gonna sleep in a
information,
tree.
I'm sure you're welcome to.
I would say that I would say that Branson is unusually good at camping, considering he spent 2 years in seclusion. So he would just do all of the steps, especially since he can create his own potable water source. Just collecting dead wood for a fire, some rocks to surround the fireplace, where the fire pit is going to be, and just looking around to make sure that there's no open spots where the elements will kind of get through more than usual.
Roll me a survival check, Branson. You said Razvan is sleeping in a tree?
Yep.
Onyx as well.
Okay.
Finds a nice cozy branch.
Since we entered the healthier side of the forest, have we seen any more trouble coming from below? Like more vines, more roots trying to grab us?
Roll me a perception check, Humphrey.
Also,
Will do.
for those listening in the future, 24 survival.
Thank you.
Nice. 11 perception.
You know, you haven't necessarily seen vines. You did at one point hear a buzzing sound, though. And you're pretty sure at some point you saw something moving through the foliage at the ground below, but you didn't catch what exactly it was that did either of those things.
Might be redundant at this point, but with your eyes open, things are still on the move down here. Shall we set up watches?
It'll be hard for us to do that considering 2 of them are up in the trees.
Razvan's already asleep.
Onyx stretches on a branch and says, "Well, I have a view of the camp from here, and I can keep an eye out for anything that might approach you or us. I can take the first watch."
As I've said, I typically like to take the first watch because of my tendency to attack things that wake me up.
Oh, yes. You can go ahead.
Then shall we do this? Mr. Branson, you take the first one. Mrs. Onyx, you take the middle one, and I take the morning one.
Works for me.
Alright, he will set down the bucket.
We need to find a more dignified way for me to sleep. Fine.
Wait, what's that bucket for?
Humphrey just puts one feet after the other inside and deflates. Like,
You need to understand that this annoyance is watching you in the way that a cat does when it has spotted like a toy or a prey, and is like just laser focused in on what is happening. Very interested, very curious.
You should know, if Humphrey fits, Humphrey sits.
Onyx can relate to that. As a cat.
Humphrey looks at Annoyance from the bucket. I get that you have not seen something like me before.
Mhm.
If it's any reassurance, neither have I.
Huh? Good to know I'm not the only one. So for that 24, I did not ignore it. You are able to find adequate wood. It's a bit more difficult to find rocks, but you are of like a decent size, but you are able to do so. And you are able to set up camp without a hitch. One thing that you could not find, though, is any sign of usable water. This is a swamp, so it's not that there isn't water.
Oh,
But every bit of water that you have seen has been murky.
he is unfazed by that considering the fact, again, he literally has magic for that.
Thus, we start the first watch. Branson,
Mm-hmm.
roll me a perception check.
Alright, I was just also prepping my spells, so give me a second here. Do.
No worries.
No, I don't want performance. $18.
18. You do see something, like Humphrey had mentioned, moving in the bushes.
Hand immediately goes to one of the silvered hand axes.
Seems to be circling the camp.
Does it ever do anything like testing the boundaries while it circles?
Can I ask for clarification of what you mean by that?
Like, I'm assuming that's circling the camp in a relative pattern, but does it ever, like, start to, like, edge towards the camp out of that pattern, or just try to slowly enclose its way around us?
Not currently, but it is pacing. It is circling. And it is keeping low to the ground.
Just brings up the other hand axe into his hand, and he just sits there waiting and watching this thing until it's time for him to change watch.
Roll me another perception check.
Will do. Oh.
You lose sight of it.
Oh boy. Hey, Razvan. You got inspiration.
I have
Yeah?
to be awake. I have to be able to see the
Uh,
target.
All of a
So
sudden,
once Razvan's awake anyways, he'll have all of his inspiration back.
yeah. Though, right after I reset my spells and took away one of my other spells. All right, but yeah, Branson will just remain vigilant on his watch, and if he hears anything like distressing, like anything trying fast approaching or anything else, he will attempt to defend himself and the rest. If not, then he will finish his watch and wake up Onyx. I can remember names.
Well, did you see anything? Anything I should keep an eye out for?
Yes, something was stalking us, circling the camp, low to the ground, prepared to pounce. Be ready for that.
Was it one of those creatures you fought earlier?
It was too dark to see. It's used to stalking by night.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
All right.
Get some rest.
And Branson
I have
will...
a question.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question for Branson specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it would.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I'm going to relower my health and take all those spell slots back.
That would be a... You're very lucky. That's only 3 points of piercing.
And am I now able to whirl around and see what has, I'm going to assume, bitten me?
Not bitten. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. And Onyx, you may do the same.
You got stung.
18. Where were you a while ago?
17.
So
I also leaped down from the tree.
you both notice the buzzing. And as you follow the buzzing, you do notice the sight of a 3-foot long wasp. Roll me initiative.
Do. 16.
I assume the rest of us are still asleep.
You're still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Branson,
Mm-hmm.
it's your go.
Immediately, resheaths the hand axes, pulls out his regular axe, and is charging at this thing, uncharacteristic for Branson, not in a berserk screech. It seems like he has not been activated. He is just running at this thing with his axe, no sound, just eye contact on it, and does a swing.
Okie dokie. Go ahead and roll me a swing.
24 for 5 slashing.
That'll hit.
Yeah, I don't think that the force procs.
It does not.
Yeah. And so he'll just swing into it for 5 slashing and just be, and just hoping that Onyx comes from behind with either an arrow or something to take this thing down.
It is now its turn. I think I accidentally hit the volume a little too low on that music. Let me fix that. Whoops,
There
that
it
was
is.
a sudden increase. Sorry about that. I
Well-
was like, why am I not hearing anything?
Well, I also think I have
All
some of my
right.
settings for music also low, so it wasn't that big an increase for me.
Ah, okay. So, what you see, like I said, is a 3-foot long wasp. It is very interesting in color as it is. Its body itself is like a deep, like navy blue, but with a weird pattern of black and green around its body, particularly its thorax and its abdomen. And as you come in for the I can words. Come on, get out of my mouth. As you go in for the swing, it's going to rear itself back and it's going to not leave this is very much for theater of the mind, not actually in a sense of leaving your space. It does not do that, but it draws back a little bit, and you see it kind of like shifting a little bit as if trying to get a better view of you before it goes in attempts to sting you directly.
Okay.
That's another 19 to hit.
Just do the damage.
You got very lucky. That's another 3. However, I will need at this time a Constitution saving throw.
Will do. $17.
All right. It definitely hurts. It definitely, like, as it clocks you right in the leg. You feel as if something has been released into your bloodstream, and yet you are able to steel yourself, and nothing happens.
True. I also forgot. Yawn tea, so I would have done that with advantage if it was a poison effect.
Yep, resistant to poisons.
Mm-hmm. So, it releases the stinger and will actually move slightly up overhead, leaving the immediate 5-foot space.
Making that swing.
Yep.
$23 for 12.
12. Yeah, that'll hit. And that's pretty good damage.
But yeah, that's everything I can do, and I'm assuming its turn.
Yep, its turn. Onyx, it's now your go.
Okay, I have landed on my feet from the tree and from behind Branson. I pull out my bow and aim for our bug-like enemy. Okay. That was not very great. 8, and it's 9 piercing.
Unfortunately, as you try to fire your short bow, the arrow just goes right underneath it as if just way off target. Unfortunately, that will not hit.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn, Onyx?
I'm going to take a jump back towards any foliage.
Okay. Very easy to do.
Yes. So while keeping my eye on the bug that at this time it was backing away, correct?
Yes, it was. But not
Okay.
out of combat. It wasn't leaving
Yeah.
combat. It was like trying to gain distance between itself and Branson.
Okay, so I make sure I can still keep an eye on it, and while keeping an eye on it, I duck back into some foliage.
All right. Go ahead. You said you're going to take the hide action?
Yes, 1 second.
Go ahead and roll. Yeah, go ahead and roll me that stealth.
I'm rolling. Yeah, it's the ones. It'll get there. I promise. 13.
Okay, 13. Branson, top of the order.
Again, you'll see Branson, as he's done before, swing his axe down as a small lightning bolt comes from the sky to hit this thing. It's one of the few things I can say I got back during my watch. Let me just find it on my thing. I have way too much stuff as a cleric. My channel divinity, Roar of Vengeance. Needs to make a DC 14 Wiz save or take 15 force damage.
Okay. Natural 1.
Is it still going?
Natural 1.
Ah. So it has died.
Uh-huh.
Well, bug zapping.
It actually does fall to the ground dead, but we're not quite out of initiative.
All right.
As you still both hear the sound of buzzing.
At that point, Branson will be like, he was hoping he could just end this thing and let everyone get the rest they need. But, well, so much for that. He will just bark, "We are under attack!"
Giant bugs.
Is that your turn?
That's pretty much everything I can do.
Okay. Interestingly, I know that I literally just said that we are not out of initiative. Things are changing. Interesting. So, you still hear the buzzing. I will go ahead and allow you off your turn to roll me a free perception check.
Will do.
Both of you.
What? 15's my number right now.
10.
All right. Branson,
Mm-hmm.
you are able to immediately notice. It looks as though there was key term, a swarm of these wasps traveling, passing your group. But only 2 of them, in addition to the one that you just killed, spots your party. And I'll go ahead and give you this because I think you would clock this. There is a weird sort of almost like inherent rageful bloodlust that comes from these creatures as they spot you and proceed to use all of their movement to get up to where you are standing, Branson.
I only wish I had noticed them before, because then I could have got them with that same Roar of Vengeance. But it's creatures I can see.
Sorry.
That's fine.
That is their turn. Onyx, it's your turn. There are now 2 wasps right up on Branson's business.
Okay, with my failure with the short bow earlier, I'm still crouching behind the bushes, and I pull out my dagger. And is one of them that is approaching Branson closer?
They're both like they're not quite murder sandwich around Branson, but like one's directly in front and one is to his side.
Okay, I'm gonna throw the one that's at his side because I'm guessing that way, I won't hit Branson. So,
Sure. Sure.
okay, it's 10.
Unfortunately, a 10 will not hit.
Okay, I once again also scream, "Wake up!" to the other two. Because I don't think they were awake yet.
We will get there when we get there.
All right.
Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Let's see. I am going to go back into hiding while I prepare for my next attack.
Oh wait,
16.
they wouldn't know where she was because she was still like stealthed. Would that have given her advantage on the shot?
Probably would have noticed once I hurled something at them, right? No? That's true. They were very focused on you.
I was going to ask, is that... Hold on.
If it was an unseen attacker, that should be with advantage, yes.
Yep, that should have been with advantage. Then that hits, yep.
Okay, 7 piercing.
And 4
We
sneak.
can ignore my last.
You also get sneak attack. That's actually 11 because you have
And for
first
sneak?
you're hidden. First off, you're hidden, and second, you have an ally within 5 feet of the monster.
Okay.
So yeah, good call on that. Thanks for catching that. And then 16 on stealth. Yeah. Well done. Well done. It is still up though, and I need my blob and my Dampier to roll me Constitution saving throws.
Well, that's a con save.
Is that what you asked for? Constitution saving throw?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Con
Oh.
save. Yep.
13.
I must have missed it.
Yep.
My brain.
You got my hopes up, Burnout. I was like, oh, I can roll something else, please.
Sorry, did you say just Razvan or both of us?
Nope, both of you.
Okay, Constitution. Hiya! That's a 9.
Unfortunately, Humphrey, this is an incredible dream, and you do not hear the screams of your companions. But Razvan, you hear, despite the pleasantries that you were experiencing in your restful slumber, you hear the call from your companions to wake up. And despite your body screaming at you to stay asleep, you wake up. And you hear the buzzing. You are welcome to join the initiative, Razvan.
All right. It will.
Okay, 12. Top of the turn
Just
order
wait-
with Branson. Yeah,
Just wait-
Humphrey's still asleep.
I just want to point out that he's in a bucket in the middle of the camp. Like
Yes,
everything
he
is
is.
happening
Yes,
around
he is.
him.
Everything is happening around him. He's in the middle of the camp, but he is sleeping through it.
Meanwhile, you guys will just watch as similar. Actually, I'll bring it up because I might have looked something up while I was we were doing other stuff here. Oh, I lost it. Give me 1 second. I have to retype it. As he just starts to vibrate with electricity as he just speaks the word beginning, and a blast of electricity radiates out from him as he does. Word of Radiance, DC 14. For only 3, though.
It hits both of them, correct?
Yeah, it's every creature within
Like
5
if
feet
they
of me.
like. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought you said.
Really wishing we were level 5 right
One-
now.
Right? One success, one failure.
Okie dokie. Well, That's all I can do, because usually I would go and form my bonus action, but that would require spells.
Sorry. Not exactly, but sorry.
Yeah, well,
All right.
yep, go ahead.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I said go ahead.
Okay. It is buzz time. All right, so the first one is going to, now noting the new heat source. New sign of life. New noise has been made. It's gonna attack Razvan.
Fun.
Well, does that mean it would leave
Does
my
an
space?
11.
He was
It does not. It does not.
Oh.
Does an 11 hit?
11 misses.
You watch as this thing turns its attention. It's kind of gross. You watch as its abdomen like sort of pulsates twice before a stinger shoots out and manages to overshoot, arching over Razvan's head.
Okay.
The other one. I don't think that hits you, Branson.
AC 16.
Total 4. Yeah, it doesn't hit you. So this one also, again, flavor, not actual, tries to rise up, creating a little bit of space between you, and tries to hit you with its stinger. Unfortunately, it does not hit. How would you flavor that? Because it's right there. It's right in your face.
Well, he is wearing slightly armored gauntlets, so I would assume like he literally just grabs the stinger with one hand and just kind of like stops it from like going into him, and just kind of shoves it back to try to dual hand his axe.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is Razvan's turn.
Sorry, I was working on something very important. Give me a second.
You're okay.
Okay, let's see. We don't have spells back, right?
You do not, unfortunately. You did not complete a
Okay.
long rest.
That makes sense. Also, this was the very important thing I was working on. We are going to... Is there anything within stabbable range? Or are they all decently far away?
I would say they're probably relatively close. You could probably use even just a fraction of your movement.
Because one
you're
time
all...
they just stabbed me, right?
Right, well, it launched its stinger at you, but it's probably only about 10 feet away.
Razvan, using his Dampier spider climb, will walk upside down the branch towards it and try to stab it.
Sure.
Other hand holding his hat. 15 to hit.
15 hits.
For 6 piercing.
How do you want to kill this thing?
Stab it right through the central abdomen and then swing, or try to loose it from the rapier if it's stuck on.
And it, as you remove your rapier, falls down to the ground. It is dead. Anything else you would like to do in your turn?
Yeah, I don't have any. It's just similar to.
Yep.
It's similar to Branson. I don't have anything yet, so that'll be his turn.
All right. Onyx, it's your turn.
Okay, so we just have one bug left. I'm going to take a shot at it from where I'm crouched, and I am going to go back to using my short bow this time. With me being hidden, I get advantage, right?
You do, yes.
Okay, so that's 21 with 10 piercing and 4 sneak, so 14.
Well done. Good damage. It is still up, though.
How resilient little thing.
All right. Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
I will do what I always do, which is hide from the threat since I have no spell slots or anything.
Incredible.
25.
Incredible.
I'm too good at hiding. Why would I do anything else?
The worst part is we know above game these things track by heat, so you are literally unpredatoring them.
And now we're at the top of the turn order with Branson.
At that point, again, just
Get him.
unga and a bunga.
I'm sorry. 12 does not hit.
That's... I will save the inspiration for something much better. I will tank another hit, and hopefully Razvan will kill it.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
The last if I want to. Can't.
Sorry.
I know.
Not exactly, but I'm sorry. So, it is now its turn. It is going to fail miserably and is going to create an attack of opportunity as it attempts to sting you, Branson.
I will take it.
As it swerves about and tries to release its stinger, it is left itself open.
And that's a 24 for 10 slashing.
How do you want to kill this thing?
Just right down the middle, bisect it. Like, Branson is, again, showing off that whenever he swings, it's up to the fates that it's not a kill. Every time he swings, he will kill.
And with that, we are officially out of initiative. For now.
Well, now we have 4 days rations. I'm going to go pass out now. As Branson just walks over to the base of, like, the tree Onyx was in, sit down, then you hear the thunk of his head hit the, like, trunk, and he is already going to sleep, still bleeding. Because I still have a chance of being able to get a full long rest.
Well, it's my turn to take over the watch. If the two of you want to get some rest, I'll keep an eye out for
For the
any
record,
more of these bug-like things. Yes.
For the record, Razvan above table, Razvan, you would still get a full rest if you went back to sleep.
Stabbed once, looks over, sees Humphrey sleeping, thinks to himself, I should get the bucket. And then goes back to sleep.
The best part is we don't even know if Annoyance was awake or not.
I'm fairly certain they were just watching for amusement. Also, Onyx humps back like onto her branch. She starts her watch.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Just want to know what brand makes these noise canceling
23.
buckets.
A natural 2023. So, your first segment of your watch, you hear the sound of that buzzing, but it seems to be growing more and more distant and eventually fading into nothing. The danger of the threat of wasps, at least for now, has passed. But you do hear the groans and the bubbling and the just general ambiance of the swamp. And at least for the first, like I said, portion of your watch, nothing seems to happen, at least that you know of. Roll me a second perception check.
Nine.
Still pretty peaceful.
Okay.
Still pretty peaceful,
Works for
yeah.
me.
Nothing seems to
Great.
change. And give me one more perception check.
Seven.
You cannot help but notice that broken tail just hanging. It's not in swatting distance, but it could be, and it's so tempting. You know that you shouldn't, but the urge is there to just go for the Annoyance's tail. The urge is there.
Wait, do you remember those fruit things you described? Is there one within picking distance? Or is that no longer there in the side of the forest?
You know what? I'll give this to you because of that natural 20. Yes, there is. There is one in the tree that Razvan originally was sleeping in.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to do an acrobatics to...
Okay.
I want to grab the fruit and hurl it at our friend.
Okay, we'll start with an acrobatics to get to the tree. Amazing.
Okay, 11.
Yep, you managed to get over to the tree. You managed to pick it off. Go ahead and roll me a ranged attack roll. You can just substitute one of your dagger throws.
18.
Oh my gosh. All right, describe for me what happens as this fruit hits the other cat.
Okay, so I make sure that that I'm hidden behind some leaves in the branch before I take aim. I see the tail swaying, and I can approximate roughly where Annoyance's head is. I aim for the head. I pull an arm back, and I throw it. And the second I hear him, I pretend to be asleep on the branch.
Go ahead and roll me a deception check.
No. It's a 10.
I like to imagine that for a moment you peek your eye open just to see whether or not they have determined whether or not you are asleep. And a pair of beady lime eyes with slits for pupils are staring right back at you. But instead of acting, instead of doing anything, it simply climbs up to a higher branch, curls around itself, shoves its broken tail underneath it, and flops. And as we come to a close of your watch, it is time to wake up the gelatin man.
Well, Humphrey slept through an entire battle, so I'm not certain how easy this is going to be. Onyx leaps down and rattles the bucket.
Okay, go ahead and roll me. I think with advantage, roll me a dex save.
Me?
Nope, Onyx.
Me.
Oh.
Yeah, all right. All right,
27,
Humphrey,
by the way.
give me a con save with advantage.
Will do.
Sorry, my gelatinous friend.
That's a 17.
Your flesh is reverberating in the weirdest way.
What's going on? Yeah, Humphrey looks around. You
There's
see
a cat. There's a cat batting at your bucket.
Good morning, Mrs. Onyx. Is everything all right?
Morning, Humphrey. You missed quite the battle. We
Party?
daringly took on some. Yes, yes, you slept through an entire fight, but it seems that our foes have gone for now, so hopefully you should have a quiet watch. Although I would
Humphrey looks.
appreciate it if you kept an eye on our friend Annoyance. I might have unintentionally, accidentally tossed a fruit in their direction, and they may be tempted to gain their vengeance on me when I'm sleeping.
I'll make a note of that. Yes. Humphrey's looking around, like seeing the dead wasps.
Yeah, they're there. One leg just twitched.
You see him like trying to say something and just. I'll make sure to keep an eye on that. Yes. I am sorry I was not awake.
Oh, that's all right. They weren't much of a challenge. Well, I will go
Was-
back to resting. I hope
Yes.
that your watch is peaceful. And then Onyx hops back onto the branch.
Humphrey will nod and get out of the climb out of the bucket. Levinson.
He has emerged.
It's too easy. It's too easy.
Thank you, Zay. I gotta see if I can show that to chat. Do-do-do-do.
Oh my god.
I'll see if it'll let me post it in. Oh yeah, no, I remember they changed up. I can't post it in Roll20 because they changed the file formats. Wiley taught me that, so I'll just drop it into in the Twitch chat.
I'm deceased.
But yeah, Humphrey will get up and start doing his rounds. Once everyone is asleep, and if he sees no immediate danger, he will once again start doing some training,
Sure.
messing around with the rapier, with the short sword, but mainly hand-to-hand combat. Something he was avoiding the previous days. Now that he feels a lot more confident, and he's trying to be less orthodox with this posture, taking advantage of the uh, m- of how malleable his body is.
Mm. I will say, since you are a bit distracted, give me perception checks but with disadvantage.
Will do. That's an 18.
Yeah, despite the fact that you are fully focusing on training and keeping your physicality, you know, I guess attuned is a good word. You managed to keep a pretty decent eye on your surroundings, and for the first segment of your watch, it is predominantly quiet again. You hear the groaning and the gurgling of the swamp. You hear the breeze in the trees. But you do not see any sign of anything threatening. Go ahead and roll me a second roll.
Disadvantage as well.
Yep.
Will do. 11.
Dex save.
Will do. 7.
Something just splatted on your head. And as you get a look at it, It's one of those yellow orangey fruits from before. Seems to have clocked you square at the top of the head.
Yeah, Humphrey immediately turns around to see where did the impact came from.
Roll me another perception check.
Normal one, I assume.
Yep, normal one.
That's a 22.
22. Let's see, do you see? Your eyes do see. You see it's not what you expected, but it certainly answers your question. You see a familiar gray and blue feline outstretched at a branch and attempting with no opposable thumbs to get a fruit down off of the tree.
Can I roll for an insight to know if that throw was intentional or not?
You are welcome to do an insight check.
That's a 12.
You have no idea.
Morning.
You're awake.
Trying to get some fruit for breakfast, I presume.
Yes.
Better be more careful with that. One of those did hit me on the head.
Oh, I do apologize. It proceeds to hold up a paw and like stretch out one of its claws. Unfortunately, I don't exactly have the best grip.
I was told we were attacked during the night. Were you involved in the fight at all?
Oh, there was a fight? Oh, that's new.
He points towards the giant dead wasps.
Oh, that's definitely new.
If it is any consolation, it was new for me as well.
Oh, I'm glad that we
Things-
both can sleep through things.
I wouldn't be that glad about that. If anything is concerning. To pride myself on my keen senses.
I don't know if I agree with that, but we can agree to disagree.
Do you not take pride on yours?
I like sleeping.
Considering the place where we are, I am surprised you can do so calmly.
Not always. And only in recent have I been able to do so calmly.
You live here, right?
Yes. Yes.
From what I've seen, the fact that whatever is taking over the forest is something rather recent. It is clearly moving this direction, but it doesn't seem to be the natural state of this place. We've seen tracks. We just went through a town that used to be full with living people, but now is just a sad graveyard. What is going on in this place?
Oh, that's a really, really broad question, my friend. Could you be a little bit more specific?
I think I have been as specific as I can be. I'm not familiar with here. I just can't tell. Something is changing for the worse.
Oh, I suppose that could be. Although I haven't really considered it before. I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I suppose, to your point, it's hard to say whether or not things are changing when that's just the way things always have been. Of course, I will say for the record, things changing. The most notable change that I personally have seen is you. You certainly are a change.
be fair, me being the way I am right now is a change for me as well.
They're gonna insight you on that.
He's being transparent.
I was say,
Physically.
yeah.
I understand this. I'm just letting you know they are now staring at you with those big lime eyes, their pupils dilating to much larger discs. Oh, you are being quite serious. I have no idea what you are implying, but you are quite serious about it, and you seem very distraught.
This is certainly not a position I chose to be in, but I am trying to make the best of it for as long as it lasts, for as long as it takes me to be back to what I am supposed to be.
I suppose you're in good company. Proceeds to goes over to another fruit on a different branch and starts to bat at it.
Not that comment, Humphrey looks at the group. I do seem to be. They are a reliable group. For what little I have had the pleasure to know them. While we are just meeting, as long as there is no ulterior motives, you could be part of this group too. It only seems that you need the help with whatever it is going on.
Quite. Seems as though I've never been one to believe in fate. Fate is a fickle thing. Fate is a thing that, well, seems more like an excuse than anything else, but if I were to believe in it, I would say fate has brought us together in such a peculiar way, and I can't say I complain. Can you do me a favor?
I might be able to.
I don't mean to ruin the mood or the tension, but if I were to bat this down, would you catch it?
Are they over Onyx?
Maybe.
Well, someone did ask me a favor before you to stop things like that from happening. So I am afraid I'm already spoken for.
But if I were to knock one down, would you catch it?
I would do my best attempt at it, yes.
Excellent! And it takes out a claw and just swipes at the stem. It misses Onyx. And I will need, let's just say, I think, a dexterity saving throw from you, Humphrey.
Will do. That's a 15.
You managed to catch it.
He looks at the fruit in his hand, maybe just happy with himself, with the fact that the body is responding more to his wants, and lifts it up to Annoyance. Here you have it.
Annoyance will hop down in front of you. Pad up. All very confident, light. It's odd. It tries to swish and sway its tail, but it seems it is unable to do so. But it comes up to you and it sits in front of you.
Humphrey puts the fruit in front of them.
You watch as it raises its paw and with very, 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 very sharp claws, rakes it straight down the middle of the fruit, and with its nose, it nudges the other side towards you. For the record,
Okay.
these fruits are like about the size of grapefruit.
Oh,
They're pretty large. And as this scene kind of comes to a natural close, it is time to wake up your companions.
before eating the fruit, though, mind if I do a survival check just to see if I find anything odd with it?
Sure. Go for it.
Because I doubt I am familiar with this kind of fruit.
Correct.
That's an 18.
It's hard to say. I mean, you don't know too much about fruit and what's considered sickly or not poisonous, or whether or not the seeds are good, or it for the record does have seeds. It has 2 rows of seeds that sit in an arch shape close to the center of the core. It's a very like narrow, very thin core lined with seeds. You admittedly have never seen a fruit like this before. You do know that some plants, in just your time in cooking and your housekeeping, some plants can have poisonous stems, poisonous leaves, poisonous seeds, even some poisonous skin. But you don't know. I mean, it looks like a very juicy fruit, that's for sure, and it doesn't really have an orange capacity. It's not very veiny. It also doesn't look like a pomegranate. Looks, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to say.
How if we look at Annoyance and see how they seem to approach the fruit to see if there is anything to avoid?
They seem to be sniffing it right now.
He will put the fruit on hold for now and start waking up his companions one by one.
All right.
Like, gently, like shaking them.
Con saves.
Well,
Con saves from the sleeping party.
I would also say possibly a wisdom save because Branson has given you very specific instructions.
Yeah, for Branson, he will just talk to him.
You will also notice that he has at least 2 more wounds that he didn't have, like when you last saw him.
Yeah, but he can put 2 and 2 together with the dead wasps.
Yeah, he's just going to. This is the least alert I've woken up in many years. Oh.
I apologize. I wasn't awake to help.
In all honesty, it lasted so shortly that you might not have been able to do much at all anyway. He's going to old man, like, full, like, range of, like, stretching the back, the legs, everything, slowly walking over, then just taps the bucket with axe. Do. Create and destroy water, so just making the ground even worse as he just starts preparing what is now the daily rituals.
I do need still a con save from Branson. I do not see one here.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. 20. Your dreams, Branson, are none. Your sleep is simple darkness until the time that you wake up again. You do not remember having any dreams.
Very in character of me.
Razvan! You're gonna make me change the music.
Oh, good.
Give me just a second. So, no, that was not an invitation for you to just stop. So, where did it go? Where did it go? There we go. It's a bit quiet, but that's okay. Razvan, as you dream, you find yourself seated at a desk with a book in front of you, the one that you are familiar with and hold dear, and yet it's blank. You find yourself at a desk with the sunlight peering in through a window. Its heat reminiscent of a warmth that you have not felt in what feels like eons, despite the fact that you saw the sun only days ago. You do not remember going so long without seeing the sun. But here you do. And interesting, you don't really recognize the room, but that dial, that moon dial, is sitting in front of you, and unlike when you went to sleep the night before, it seems to be at a new moon. And as you peer at it for a moment, your eyes vert back to the book on the table. I really hope my cat screaming is not picking up on the microphone. If so, I apologize.
It's not.
It has not.
It
Okay,
hasn't,
excellent.
But I would have assumed it was Annoyance.
Incredible.
Or Onyx.
You flip through the pages of your book and find them all blank. And you know this not to be true, but you scrounge and you scrounge and you scrounge. And not a single word from any of the years that you have written has remained on the page. But in this dreamscape, something strikes you, a word that you don't know where it came from. You don't understand necessarily why it came to you, how it came to you. But you do write in your book the word Medria. Medria. And as you do, the words on the page fade for but a moment before disappearing. And as you stare at it longer, the words, now blank and a complete void, suddenly burst like ink on the page, like you have fed it. And you see docks, but they are not the docks that you remember. They're not the docks that you recognize. And just as you see the docks, the sun begins to set, and you find yourself awakened and fully rested. Onyx, you do not dream that evening either. But that is not necessarily a bad thing. No nightmares, no good dreams, just simple rest. Silence, quiet, darkness. And you two wake up in your tree, peaceful, fully rested.
Alright, before we move out, let me check something. Can I roll a survival to see if I can, harvest a few days' rations from these giant insects? Because a 3-foot-long bug is a lot of bug. And that's basically
Sure.
shellfish.
Go for it.
16.
Yeah. Let's
Also,
see
you might be
here.
able to harvest some poison there.
Oh, that's also very true. Do you have anything to keep it with? Is the real question there.
Well, I'll get.
Well, let me also check my inventory, because I have a... This is the second biggest inventory next to the one I had... Actually, no, this is actually surpassing the one I had for Cholta Personality. Give me a second here.
I hate that I instinctively Googled what does yellow jacket taste like. Apparently, like beans or mushrooms. So
Oh,
So
there you
we're
go.
basically harvesting organic tofu.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
opposed to inorganic tofu.
I think with my basic travel supplies, I have, like, the typical stuff you would have for, like, wrapping meats and whatever. Just for the
Mhm.
sake of travel, so I'd assume that.
So, I would say, from 3 bugs, you are able to garner for 4 people 3 meals worth of bug.
So basically 1 day's ration.
Basically 1 day's ration.
Alright, we have 1 extra day's ration in case of emergencies for everyone. I can't guarantee how it will taste. Most bugs acquire taste, but protein's protein.
Do you know the proper way to prepare this?
No, because most of the time you just eat a bug. Like, I know
Fair enough.
I heard from the trader who, like, ran our caravan, some people eat snails, but I can't figure out how.
What little kitchen experience I have, I would like at least try to sear that or roast it. We don't know if. Well, I'll try your expertise. Pardon me.
I'd assume I'd try to cook them like crawdads.
You mean
I want to
crayfish?
He will look to you as somebody who probably only... Again, I'm from the Dale Land, so he would only know about river flora.
Right.
Yeah. So he just look at you like, what is this thing you're speaking of?
Ignore it.
Alright, well, we have at least, in case we have to turn back, we have at least another day's worth of food. Is there anything else anyone needs to do, or should we get moving?
You hear the sounds of munching and crunching.
Are they coming from above me or next to me?
On the ground.
Is it Annoyance?
It is! Eating some fruit.
He will disregard, because Annoyance is Annoyance.
Yeah, well, the other half is still at Humphrey's feet.
Oh no, it's in his hand actually. He's
Oh,
been
okay,
cutting it.
excellent. Excellent.
Is
Yeah, and
fruit
now-
safe for you to eat, Annoyance?
Well, considering I'm eating it, yeah. I mean, I've never gotten sick.
Yeah, no further questions.
The seeds taste like
Seedy.
fire in the mouth, though. I don't necessarily recommend it.
Now that I can see them eating, are they leaving out anything else? Like trying to not touch the skin?
They are. I'm glad you asked. They are not eating the skin, and they are spitting out the seeds.
Then Humphrey will grab a dagger and start picking out any visible like seeds.
It's not hard to do.
Hmm.
But go ahead and roll me with advantage. Just for the sake of it, do you have cooking on
I
here?
do not.
Okay. Well, what is cooking?
It's artisan's utensils.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm more asking on a sense of like, what am I gonna have you roll? Um, what is cooking? Let's go with survival with advantage.
Thank you. That is a 14.
You're able to get most of them. There are a couple stragglers in there, but like the big bulk, the bulk of it, you're able to just kind of carve out fairly easily.
I'll cut a slice and give it a taste. Like basically shove it inside me because again, no mouth. Like, blop.
It tastes at first very dull, but as you bite into it and you are able to actually taste it's kind of like, you know, when you bite into like a watermelon or like a cantaloupe where it's like it starts out not having much flavor and then the juice hits. And the best way that I could describe it is it tastes like cinnamon and honey
Ooh, lovely.
with a hint of like nutmeg. And as I previously mentioned, it is actually a super juicy fruit.
Juicy fruit.
Like
Not sponsored.
Like I said in the earlier thing in our server, only eat if it's red or pink.
It has a rather lovely flavor. I was not expecting this. And he will hold up the fruit to the rest of the group. Do anyone else want to try it? I think we're good for rations, so
Yeah, I tend to prefer meat.
Meanwhile,
I'll try some.
Meanwhile, Brance is already over here, like, boiling some of the, like, hornets.
Bug.
Yeah.
yeah, and he will cut a slice for Onyx.
Razvan
Again,
will loom and haunt around the cooked insects.
I warn you,
two
I have no
things.
butter.
Onyx. Big sad. No butter.
We don't
Onyx.
have wine.
That's true. Onyx, you bite into the fruit, and again, it tastes like honey and cinnamon and nutmeg, and it is like probably the juiciest fruit. You're not much for a fruit eater, but like of the fruit you have eaten, this is probably like the juiciest you've ever eaten.
Oh,
Second thing.
this is delicious.
Second thing.
Mhm.
Razvan, to your comment about you prefer to eat meat, Annoyance is going to give you a look. Like a very curious look. It's going to insight you.
Being as transparent metaphorically as Humphrey.
Is it more like trying to get like a vibe check on you? Like, ooh, are you carnivore? What is going on? Trying to get a vibe check on you with no sense of real answer. And this makes total sense in character. That is a 9.
Razvan will, I suppose, leave that a mystery to Annoyance and
Incredible.
continue to just wait patiently for the butterless hornet that we're about to consume.
again, Branson, if you don't have cooking utensils, please roll me a survival check.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, please roll me a cooking utensils check.
17.
You managed to cook it, or at least from what your experience says should be cooked. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I was gonna make the joke of, this is really hard. I should have left them in their shells.
But there's a bit of a crispiness, a bit of a broiled somehow wasp cordon bleu. Gosh darn it. If only, right? But as you both take a bite into it, again, it's kind of got that mushroom texture, but there's something interesting about it, as it kind of has a bit of a bite to it, like when you bite into something spicy, right? And yet, flavor profile wise, it tastes like jerky. Like beef jerky.
Surprisingly beefy. If anything, I was like, yeah. Go ahead.
There are plenty of surprises that we have found since finding Venture together. At least this one is a pleasant one.
Yes, I heard people always talk about giant spiders, and I thought they were all crazy, but I guess giant bugs are a thing.
And as the four of you munch and crunch and eat what could best be described as a breakfast, this is where we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Alrighty.
But yeah, this has been fun.
Yeah.
And, like, I did not expect that we would have, like, random combat. I thought we'd possibly, if we were lucky, make it to, like, town and actually find answers. Nope. We're fighting the equivalent.
Fight.
Yeah. And the best thing is, I don't even know this because I never actually liked the game enough to ever encounter this, but we basically got into a fight with Cazadors from New Vegas.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, because we tried to take the shortcut. That's what happens in New Vegas, too.
Yeah, I've always... But for those who are hearing me and judging me both in chat and in the future on YouTube, the Fallouts I liked were 3 and 5. Actually, no, 3 and 4. And I've still never beaten 4.
I was like, there's a Fallout 5? What have I missed?
Yes, I'm from the future. Warning. Warning, I came to the past to have a good time.
No, the fight was remembers me the one time I was playing a game of Deadlands with some friends, and it's like, yeah, first, like, we're starting first adventure, we are leaving town, giant wasp almost TPK us, back to the town, follow the wasps.
You saying that also makes me remember another thing from Chilta Personality, one of our, like, earliest encounters, like, having just left the port. We get the bad roll on the random encounter table, and find out that if you are not above level, like, 6 or 7, 8 Velociraptors will almost TPK you, or just TPK you. We just got very lucky. And that's why when we got certain, like, buffs in the game, because there are certain systems for it, where you can get a random ability to cast a spell once, and 2 people in our party got the ability to, like, conjure animals. We had an actual name for summoning 8 Velociraptors for us, and we called it Dino Storm. Operation Dino Storm was always a success. Also, Citric, something you might not know, but I'm sure you keep pretty well up on stuff. Do you know that Glitch is about to release a new series?
The one thing I saw was that they had the glitch in for like community stuff. Not
During that, they announced another series that's about to start.
oh, neato.
Yeah, it's Gaslight something. I think Gaslight Factory.
Hmm.
Which I'm looking forward to because, I mean, I already was like, Digital Circus kind of hooked me. I really liked that. Then I checked out Murder Drones and, yeah, marathon that all in one night. And so now I'm just sitting here like, okay, feed me more. Though if you'll do me a favor, I'm going to step away for a quick second to use the bathroom.
No worries. And for chat, remember this time to take an opportunity to drink your legs and stretch some water. Very important. Man, I missed that entire fight.
You were eeping.
It was EP. Yeah. The missile is EP and needed to sleepy. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Shit makes me laugh every time.
I still love the original. Like the missile know where it is.
Yeah.
Oh. At the very least, we got a full long rest for the entire party, so we're not down on resources anymore.
We have spells again.
Yes!
I was down to half my health and 1 key point left.
Yeah, I was down to half my health, no spell slots, no channel divinities. Like, literally, the time that he would have spent on watch was just long enough that I could at least get that back. And he was like, I'm going to sleep and I will get my magic back, so why would they waste this on getting a single spell? Though also, I want to say something just because it happened earlier this week. I love that we have, like, all the different faces here, like the people that don't typically come to all the other streams because of either schedules or whatever. But seeing all the different people here in chat is always fun, seeing how different people vibe with different games. But also for the people on YouTube who are really nice and leave comments after they find us, I want to say how much that we appreciate that. Like, we got a random comment earlier this week from somebody who started from the first episode all the way to episode 6 and just left a really nice comment. Every time someone does that, I screen cap it and send it to the rest of the group. So know that if you say something nice about us, it really does encourage us to do more.
You give us energy.
Yes! And we don't have to we don't even have to resort to having Mr. Satan ask you to do it. Aw, thanks, I'm gonna have fun playing with you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have returned.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back.
Which,
Every time.
by the way, I did hear, Citric, I'm sorry, I tried to bring you back into the combat.
No, it's fine. If anything, it's funny. Like, because Humphrey was in the middle of everything. He's like...
Also, I need
I
to
like to imagine
Yes.
snoring, just in the middle of everything, just loud snoring.
Well, no, he
Loud
makes
bubbling.
he makes a bubble, and whenever a bubble pops, you hear a snore.
Good.
There was something I was gonna say, and I just need to remember it. Oh yeah, I need to remember that after this, I need to copy the link to the meme Zen made that I tweeted, so that way everyone could see the funny joke. So that way, in the future, everyone knows what we were joking about. But yeah, the second I posted that on Twitter, I wanted to immediately just poke Zen, just like hit him up with the Mulan. Now all of China knows.
Good. Good. I hope you guys have been vibing with the survival in the woods.
Well, I'm really
Yeah.
glad that I picked the right proficiencies because, like, now every time I play a character, I'm like, oh, I wish I was Branson if I have to make any kind of survival roll, because that +6 has done numbers for me. Though, at a certain point, I may actually have to talk to you about the Xanathar's guide to how do you, like, train a proficiency, like, in-game to gain one, because it'd be really helpful now if Branson had a proficiency in perception. It's come up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you all do a lot of looking.
It's almost like we're not in a safe place.
Yeah. Addressing this because it happened in the background. I know it feels very silly of me, but Zan, if you're here, I did not know that you did the Espanol.
Minorly, conversationally, I would say. I'm not an expert by any means, or again, living in a lot of parts of LA, kind of necessary. A lot of the signs are entirely in Spanish. Like, there's no English. You go to stores and no one speaks English, so you just kind of pick up stuff as time goes on.
For sure. The reason I find this particularly funny, and Vaughn, you can back me up on this, is we were literally, what was it, last night? Or was it the night before? We were having a conversation. We were having a conversation about how, one of the things that I have always wanted to do in D&D is actually do real-time code switching to signify a difference in language. And I've never had the opportunity to, because I've always been in a situation where I'm the only person at a table who speaks more than one language. And I was talking about how, like, if it were something that we had talked about, obviously, and we haven't, so don't worry about it, but like if it were something that we had talked about and that was like actually viable for streaming, one of the things that I would love to do is go over to Citric and be like, hey, do you want to do this? Because we could. But I mentioned that it wouldn't work because language-wise, you, like, as far as I knew, you didn't speak Spanish, so that would exclude San, which means we couldn't do it. Lo and behold, you're in the group chat telling Citric about his dogs in Spanish.
I was just trying to be polite, and I was like, I don't know, Spanish might be quicker. I don't know.
Now you know why.
Fine.
But now you know why my response was to post "Life finds a way."
I was just sitting there, like, internally losing my mind, like, wait, I'm wrong? Delightfully, I'm wrong?
A close friend of mine, we actually were doing a role play a while back, and we did the code switching because the language I'm a bit more proficient in is Irish, which is a form of Gaelic, and so is my friend, who's a very Irish family as well. And so when we were speaking in game, we just switched to Irish, with another one of our friends just translating for anyone who was curious, and it was fun.
I've always wanted to do that, but I've never been at a table with avid, like, actual, like, enough people to again speak the same language that wouldn't accidentally exclude another person who also happened to have the same language proficiency, like, in game. So I'm kind of sitting here a little floored right now.
Well,
I mean, Bracky is also in the nearby circles and very much speaks Spanish, and I'm good friends with Bracky. So
Does he?
the normal
That's surprising.
Bracky's from Mexico. Bracky's
Citric, you shit.
I know, I'm being a shit.
Okay, fair enough.
Incredible.
No,
Incredible.
no. Can I add what actually brought up this whole thing for to be even conceptualized? It's because it's also really stupid. So it's not a hidden secret that Branson is highly inspired by the main character from Pumpkin Scissors, who one of the things that's a big part of that is whenever they go into their rampage, they start using a German phrase, which means murder. And so I was like, oh wait, the only reason that he knows this is tied to this, wait a second, does that mean a Celestial would be canonically German for Branson? And then me and Sarah were kind of like, transitive property, yeah. And that's why
And it works.
Yeah, that's why his Word of Radiance is begone in German, which I had to look up during the game.
No, I just got an excuse to make Abyssal French.
Can I say this? I think it would be Infernal, that'd be French.
Fair enough.
In all honesty, Abyssal should be German, but nah, we rolling with it.
Play ball. Amazing. Excellent.
Okay, I'm back with snacks.
Welcome back. Well, welcome
Welcome
back
back.
with snacks.
All right. Well, if we're all back, should we go to the game screen?
Just one thing, like you mentioned dogs
Mhm.
before. Like I have no dogs, but I live in an area with a lot of dogs, and when one starts barking, all of them do.
It's the same. My neighbors also have dogs.
Yeah.
Say, my
The
neighbor.
good thing is that my
Oh, go ahead.
no, the good thing is that Mike in general has good noise control in the sense that if I am not speaking, it's not going to pick them up. But if they are barking while I'm speaking, that's just how it's going to be. I can do
Hey.
nothing about that.
I will say this. I will say this for the record. I'm sure you've picked up on it by now. But of all the settings to be in with barking dogs,
Momo.
Yeah.
think it's a form of immersion at this point rather than a problem. But if y'all are ready to get back into it,
I am.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There we go.
so Roll20 has to cooperate first before I can finish that statement.
That is a big ask.
I know. It chooses violence every time. There we go. So, is there anything else that you would like to do before you leave the area?
I want to collect some of that fruit.
Sure thing. Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Come on. Okay, 13.
You are able to find 2 more and cut them down successfully. So that would be the equivalent of, again, between the 4 of you, one more ration.
So you two will have 5. Me and Zan will have 4. And annoyance is annoyance. They fend for themselves.
Is there anything else beyond getting some more fruit that you wish to do?
Nothing in particular comes to mind. No.
All right. And then forward you must go. I get to roll a few things real quick. So bear with me. Incredible. Amazing. Immaculate. We love to see it. The 4 of you continue to follow your companion along the way. It seems rather arduous, and let's be real, if you are not accustomed, your character, are accustomed to, shall we say, frolicking in a swamp, right? This is an incredibly how do I put this? Following a feline creature in general is its own task, so to speak. But doing so in an unfamiliar environment that, sure, you have now been for a minute in this environment. However, it's still one to get adjusted to, and you do find it rather difficult. But it's doable. It's manageable. I am looking for... I'm so sorry for delaying.
That's all right.
You're
Just
good.
imagining every member of the cast being in a bog witch goal outfits.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna share a good line from chat from Bubba. Tiptoe, through the swamp gas.
Yeah, okay. Excellent. So, apologies. As the four of you follow your friend, there is one thing that you find that amongst everything, that I will go ahead and say for this, no rolls are needed. Because after a while of traveling together and constantly being on the lookout, when something does change collectively, it's easier to notice. And for flavor's sake, we will say the first thing that you notice is the fact that Annoyance stops and arches their back, like a feline does when it's on the alert. And as your gaze drifts from your friend I know is a loose term. It's fine. From your ally. To the
Affiliate.
affiliate. Incredible. Out into the center of what appears to be a segment where no trees have grown, or, well, they did grow. And what you now notice are a bunch of stumps. In between two of the stumps, you see the end, which is clearly what Annoyance is looking at, of a tail. Gray, black with a bit of brown at the tips. On the ground.
So, just to be specific for us visualizing, is it like a severed tail, or is it like a tail that seems to be popping out from something, or it's just a tail that we
Seems
can't...
to be hit like the body that it would, if it were attached to something, would be hit behind one of the stumps. Like it's just out of view. But you
Gotcha.
see the tail laying out on the ground.
On three.
Blood.
Fresh?
I don't know.
Humphrey, if I...
The tail looks. Sorry, the tail looks just inert, or do I see any movement?
You do not see any movement.
Looks at Branson. Yes, Mr. Branson.
If I get you up into the tree and you have a better vantage point, do you think you can figure out what's going on?
We can just look around. I think it would take less effort.
True, but we don't know if it might startle this thing if it is awake. If you could see from above, it could give us enough knowledge beforehand.
If you feel that is the best course of action, sure, I will do so.
Alright, Branson will reach down, like, get under Humphrey. Well, yeah, well, no, you're not getting uppies, man. He's gonna reach down, he's giving you the max height, so, he's getting a hand under the vestige of your ass. That's the best way I can describe it.
What a phrase.
Yeah, no. Only in D&D, folks, but again, he's just getting under beneath you, just like lifting you up, and because he's already like 6 foot, like 6'1", by lifting you up, that means that you're up to about almost 7 foot, so you should be within at least 1 or 2 branches that you can just kind of get on and try to get a better vantage point for perception and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Does that help?
It does. I would also say, Onyx,
Yes.
you're close enough to a tree if you wish to climb.
Yes, I just wanted to watch all of this unfold before then.
That's valid. So, a very cat thing to do. Oh gosh, El Robot. Citric! Sorry, not to break the suspense. The first line from El Robot was, "Does Humphrey have cake?" And Citric replied with, "He has Jello." You both are grounded. All right, you hoist up the gelatin, and you see, well, you see a bit more. You see paws, mangled, clearly connected to a body, though the body is difficult to see from this vantage point because of the stump.
Hmm? Right, you said that Onyx sees that,
Oh,
not?
no,
Or...
Humphrey sees that. Humphrey sees
Humphrey,
that.
perfect. Yeah, sorry, I got mixed up.
Yes,
So
you
I
are being
see
hoisted
paws.
mid-air. You are mid-uppies.
You lift me up.
I can. Do I get a better view of the creature, or just?
Like I said, you see the legs. You see the
Mhm.
legs. Slightly mangled. Clearly, if you were to guess its position, so to speak, it's on its side. You do not see the main part of the body. You know it's connected. They're not severed. But the stump makes it a little difficult to get that much of a clear view.
And again, I see no movement. Do
You
I
see no
see?
movement.
Do I see anything else projecting a shadow nearby?
That's a great question. Roll me a perception check.
Will do. That's an 11.
You look into the trees. You look around. You do a sweep. You look up in the trees. But you do not see any, shall we say, new beings beyond you, your companions, and of course, your affiliate.
Whatever it is clearly dead. Don't seem to detect anything else moving nearby it. I think we might as well approach
All right.
if we want to get a better look.
I will go first since I am the. Honestly, there's no good way to say this. I'm the one that could probably survive it if it hits me. And he's just going to draw his axe and he's going to walk into this opening. Do-do-do-do.
You see a mangled, well, your guess. Actually, you know what? Roll me a nature check. Roll me a nature check.
Ah,
We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, the other side of the coin that he should be good at, but no. Yeah, 11.
Well, it's definitely a bestial creature. Quadrupedal. Headless.
Does it have paws or claws?
I mean, it has paws and claws, and it's laying in a pool of its own blood. There's one more thing you notice.
Okay.
Something has been placed on top of it. It appears to be some type of piece of paper.
Does it have
Looks
any...
like...
Oh, okay.
You're... Sorry? Was
Sorry.
about to answer your question.
Yeah.
It looks like Sorry, I was reading over my notes. It looks like one of those oblong rectangular pieces of paper. It seems to be in relatively good condition. Clean parchment, if you will. A few wrinkles here and there, a few folds, but it looks like it's predominantly kept in good condition. And in what you can only assume is either blood or red ink is some type of, you aren't sure if it's a sigil or like a magic circle or what exactly it is, but it's certainly been drawn on this piece of paper and it's been left almost perfectly on top of the fur of this creature.
All right, Branson will reach down, but while he is doing so, he's going to give the all clear signal to come on. It has no head. Even if it comes back to life, it can't hurt you.
Very well.
And he
I'm
will
sure we'll approach.
he'll pick up the paper and I guess see whatever kind of thing he could try, like I guess history or intelligence to try to see like if he could figure out what this thing is on the paper.
History, intelligence, or arcana.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be Arcana. Well, actually, no, they're both the same. So, yep. He's technically proficient, but he's not that good. Yeah, 10.
You couldn't say that you recognized it even if you tried. It's clearly not anything that you've ever seen before or recognize. And while we're here, related, but Razvan, that blood is fresh. That blood
I
is
don't.
very fresh.
Who the beer whatever made this corpse must have done so recently.
Mm.
Annoyance?
Hmm?
Hopefully not a friend of yours.
No. Not at all.
Annoyance, there's something on this paper here. This is your
Mm-hmm.
this is your home. Perhaps you recognize it, and he will hold it up above his head to try to wave them down to come and look at it.
The feline creature pads over, very cautiously. You don't even need to do like an insight check. Obviously, its hair cannot stand on end, but its eyes are dilated, its ears are back, and its teeth are out. And for the first time, I know it's shown on the artwork. Their fangs are long, longer than you would expect from any feline. It approaches very slowly until eventually it reaches you entirely. Oh, I... I don't know to be concerned or if I should be thankful.
Context?
That appears to be some type of ward.
Hearing that, he will immediately put it back on the body.
And in good faith, actually tell you exactly what kind of ward it is, but that does seem to have the necessary line work of a ward. You can see, and it kind of like puts its paws up on the stomach of the creature, and with its nose outlines. See right here, that at the bottom, very bottom, you see what appears to be that particular X. It doesn't quite look like a normal X. It's got a bit of a curve to it. That specific line, when you add it with, and then points up to a different place on the paper. When you add it with this specific mark, I don't know exactly what this mark does, but I do know that when you add that X at the bottom mixed with this some type of marking at the top, it typically indicates a ward of some kind, based on whatever this mark is at the top, and the rest of it is just the arcane necessary, magical humanoid things.
Blank face stare. I see. Well, if it's warded and already had its head removed, it is most likely not going to come back. We should move on. If the blood is fresh, we might still find somebody. Possibly another companion, or at least somebody who can tell us something about this land besides you.
Is that supposed to be an insult?
No.
Okay, good.
Proceed.
Branson does not trade insults. If he does not like you, he will simply make it physical.
No. I call them
Right.
I call them annoyance because that's what they are. I just
Frightening.
Yes, I do not beat around the bush. I was not taught that way. You just say how you feel. That said, also, you have never done anything to make me want to hurt you, so we are fine.
That's surprising. But I'll take it for what it is.
Proceeds to glance at the rest of you.
Are you ready to keep moving, or is there... I can't say for certain I know whether or not there's anybody else in the trees, so to speak, or if there's anything else, but...
I suppose it would be wise for us to keep moving. Staying still for too long does make it easier to be tracked.
One way or
Right.
another, we have a destination to reach. That is hopefully safety. The longer we stay here, we just prolong our danger.
That is very true. That is very, very true.
If we cannot find safety in this place, at the very least, let us find progress.
Well, I would say we've already made progress.
Stares at the creature.
Mm.
Not to be that person, but one less predator coming after me, to your point of being tracked, one less thing that I have to think about when I go to sleep at night.
Can't say I disagree.
Razvan thinks a little too long about how comfortable that bucket must be for. But then continues on.
As you continue. There is nothing else you want to do with the scene here?
No, but
I don't think so.
no, but Zan's saying that just maybe had the most cursed thought ever. That
What?
whenever we do create water with the bucket, we're basically getting the equivalent of Humphrey's Gamer Girl bathwater.
Oh gosh.
Why?
Because I was cursed to have that knowledge and I had to force it on someone else.
Share it.
Burnout really
Well.
out here casting bestow curse.
I mean, give me the 5th level and yeah.
Oh. Since the lot of you did not wish to do anything else here. Okay, interesting. There's a moment where Annoyance removes its paws from the body, wiping its paws and like on one of the grass things. It kind of almost looks like cat kneading, but not quite.
Mhm.
They proceed to sniff the air once more and turn to you, Razvan.
Oh, good.
I smell more blood.
Oh, good. It would appear that something is still stirring within the swamp. Blood. Somewhere near and fresh by the smell of it. Branson, I cannot imagine that your lantern is changing in any way.
It is not.
He'll just gesture at it as it's hanging off his belt. As again, we aren't bathed in eerie blue light.
Very well. Onyx, would you mind going up and trying to investigate a bit further, as you are a bit more quiet than we are?
Yes, I will climb one of the trees. I'll admit I was planning on doing it earlier. I just wanted to see Humphrey raised into midair, and then I hop up onto a tree.
It is fair. I am also interested in our strange friend.
Perception check from Onyx. Survival check from Razvan.
6 on survival for Razvan. He's too busy thinking about the bucket.
8 on perception for Onyx.
Okay. Fortunately, to a higher vantage point, and to taking a note from Annoyance, you do immediately notice a blood trail leaving from the beast on the ground. It seems to not be headed in the direction that originally the 5 of you were walking, though. You also note, in the direction of one of the other stumps, originally more difficult to see from view, but now that you have a better vantage point, there are arrows lodged in one of the stumps.
And it appears that if there is someone of more natural make, some sort of civilization, then they might be using arrows of sorts, and it would appear that they might be near. He kind of points towards the arrows.
Onyx, in addition to seeing the blood, you also see the blood, you also see the arrows. What you also see, because specifically perception over survival, you see that the blood trail seems to lessen as it goes farther into the woods, as if something was dripping blood and then suddenly stopped.
Oh. How far would you say it is from where we're located?
From specific, not so. I'm assuming you're probably up a little ways. So
I
from
mean
the
from the others on the ground.
yeah, okay. So from the others on the ground, I would say it stops after about 20 feet.
Okay. I call down to the others. It looks like there's a trail of blood that's leading away from the creature. And whoever or whatever left that trail isn't too far from us. I believe they've stopped about 20 feet from here.
Brent's gonna go over and grab the arrows and check them. Are they silvered?
They're not.
All right. Well, he'll still pick up all the arrows because for Onyx, and then he'll be like, "All right, well, let's get going. If it's along our way, then we will find them. If it's not our concern." And these
Roll
are
me a strength check, real quick. Sorry to interrupt.
oh sure. Do my sheet's frozen here for a second. Here, there we go.
You are only able to pull one of them out cleanly. The other one snaps.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad it snapped. Otherwise, it'd be like, my boy should have enough, like, upper body strength to almost pull one of these stumps out. But yeah, he will grab the one arrow. He will save it for Onyx, because they are up in tree, and start leading towards where we're supposed to go.
I'm assuming between Razvan and Onyx that is pointed out to you, the blood trail, you do follow it, and it does, as I mentioned, just stop. Like, suddenly.
If I had to imagine, the trail is from the head. It took it as a sign that it killed it, possibly for that tax we saw. It would only have so much blood left in it. We might see some more spatterings later on, but they will be small.
Onyx is moving through the trees, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Just in case, like, having anyone checking up would be necessary.
Well, if we follow the blood, we either find civilization or danger, but at least we can find something.
It seems to be going in a slightly different direction than I was planning on taking you. Is that the direction you wish to go?
I assume avoiding conflict would be our best course of action, and if we already were trailing towards wherever you are taking us, a detour feels unnecessarily dangerous, I would say, especially if we expect to find combat there. That is my view of it, at least.
I'm open for whatever, as long as you're willing to, shall we say, continue to provide your services.
Civilization over one person is better.
Then we shall continue.
Besides,
Was
if
someone
they're
a
on the brawl, if they're on the brawl, we might fight them anyway.
Absolutely. And for what it is worth, as the five of you continue walking, you do actually notice another creature. This one a little bit more obvious that it is canine in nature, as it has dealt less damage to its general body, but its head has also been removed. And you do find another ward. Seems to be not necessarily identical to the last one you saw, but like one of those cases of like it is intended to be the same thing, but whenever you are making anything by hand, it's impossible to make carbon copies.
Seeing that and like how that's kind of like the modus operandi, Branson will ask everybody for like 5 minutes as he's going to pull out a very battered book with a lot of stubs and like markers in it, and he's going to flip all the way to the back as if like he's dedicating knowledge to this, but that it's not like the main focus, and he is going to do his best to copy this ward.
Humphrey will also approach the ward to inspect it more closely, and I want to know if I can like, figure out if it is the same type of handwriting, like the same type of strokes as the other one, not just the same design.
Okay. Also,
Go
Citric.
ahead.
I was gonna say, Citric, we could understand that, but you were roboting hard there for a second.
Oh.
Yeah, just want to give you
I
a
am
heads
still
up.
recording.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
are
your microphone
Yeah,
is
go-
doing it.
Go
No,
ahead
it's not the
and
microphone. It's Discord. I will jump back and
Yep.
out and back.
All good.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah. I'll do my roll first to give him time. So, what would that?
Sure. I would say to copy it down. Oh gosh, what did I remember Monty doing this. I've never actually had to do something like this before, so this is me learning something new. I'm going to guess that this is probably going to be. I'm gonna say probably I'm gonna say just an intelligence check.
I figured so. I was ready. Ah, my boy. You were so close. So close. But that's a 4 for those listening in the future.
Here's what I will say with that. If you only want to spend the initial 5 minutes, it's going to be a little haphazard and probably not correct. If you wish to spend more time with it, I will let you re-roll with advantage, but again, you would have to spend more than 5 minutes.
So, are we saying, like, he would not stop if it would be more than half an hour? but if he could get down in like 10 to 20, he would take that time because it
Yeah.
might become useful.
Yeah, 10 to 20.
Okay, here we go. Let's hope.
With advantage.
17. Oh.
17. It's not perfect, and this isn't necessarily something that you have practiced before ever in your life, but you are able to get the lines down relatively cleanly. At least in a sense that it's legible and you understand what it should look like.
Yeah, so if I put this on the floor of my basement and I try to bring back my mom, I'm only going to lose an arm and a leg. Gotcha.
Wait a second.
Also, thank you for the laugh, Citric. I was going long for that one, but I'll take it.
I mean, Full Metal reference? I don't think that's a stretch.
I mean, yeah, but we had some much better jokes earlier. I was like, oh, come on. I'm always trying, always trying.
This would be. Sorry, I'm typing you a thing.
Also, gotta step away for 1 second, so I'll be right back.
No worries.
In the meantime, Humphrey, I will need an intelligence check as well.
Will do. Check or save?
This is a check.
Perfect. That's not 20 on the other side. You got a 3.
You have no idea if this is the same writing. It's hard to tell. It looks like calligraphy almost. So it's a little difficult to tell, to be perfectly honest. You could assume, but you aren't sure how valuable that kind of assumption would be in this case.
Since this is the same sigil we saw on the previous body, I assume none of you are familiar with it, right?
I do not believe so. At least none of my previous encounters or incantations.
I know very little about magic and warding. I've gleaned it mostly from my second sight. Though, I at least can recognize burial rites and protections like that, but this is new, which is why I'm at least trying to learn it. It may become very important here.
We have 2 decapitations and 2 markings, so we have a pattern.
It makes me think I should have finished the job on the last one we dealt with.
You will notice.
Hmm?
Once again, there is a pattern of blood. For the record, speaking of blood, Razvan, you would note that this is less fresh. Significantly. But for those that are specifically looking at the creature, you do see a blood trail, once again, this time dried and becoming much more difficult to keep tabs on. But it does venture further into the woods, and then after about 20 feet, it just stops.
The trail doesn't. We do not see anything from the trail going forward on the trees, right?
It does the exact same thing as the last.
So now I think we are finding another hunter's trail.
And if we did not wish to dally, then we will simply have to keep avoiding it until it either comes along our path or doesn't. Wherever
have
we
the
go.
one-
Good.
I just have to wonder, sorry to interrupt. I have to wonder if it's going in the direction we came from. Look at this.
And it points at the direction of the blood splatter, the blood trail, and it heads in the direction that you were previously walking away from. So, going in the direction you were coming from.
Mm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yes,
mean to interrupt.
Then we missed the hunter. He went in deeper. He's trying to make those lands safer. Let him be about his business as we are about ours. As he just like stands up, like dusts off his knees from getting down to look at this like ward, and just starts heading in the direction that we were already heading towards civilization.
What was then? What were,
No. I was gonna be musing about what it could possibly be, but Branson got
Oh,
what I was
please.
thinking.
Feel free, please.
Branson, well said, and I believe you are making a wise decision. There is no reason for us to interfere with somebody's work unless it directly impacts us. I am in favor, and Razvan will follow lockstep with Branson.
Two small things before we leave. One, San, does Razvan convey to the rest of the group the fact that the blood is older in this one?
Yeah, he'll kind of like lean down and show that it's not easily pick upable. It's dry at this point.
And second, since we've seen so far, like wounds on these things are mainly arrows and then the chopping of the heads, right? Do we
Mhm.
see anything?
Go ahead
I want
and
to see-
roll.
Mhm.
Sorry.
No, but what were you going to say?
I was going to say roll a perception check, please. Sorry, interrupted.
No, you're perfectly fine. Maybe you're going where I was going. That's a 10.
You spot one more.
Hmm.
This one, once again, lodged in, this time instead of a stump, it's a full tree. There are no stumps in the area, just the full trees, and you see it just lodged perfectly, almost as if whoever shot it was aiming directly at the tree. Like, that's how clean the arrow is.
And comparing the direction the arrows are pointing, do they all seem to have come from the same direction?
This one is coming from a different direction as the last ones that you saw at the other body, but there's no telling if that was related to. I mean, you understand that people move when they're in combat and when they're fighting and when they're hunting, so you don't necessarily know why it's from a different angle or a different direction, but it is.
Him having said that, I do want to actually check one thing that Branson would probably picked up when he got the first arrow. And this one probably doesn't need a roll. It's just, are these arrowheads a traditional triangle head, or are they a V triangle?
They're a V triangle.
That's what I thought. So, that's just something that he is confirming for himself, just knowing things about hunting things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anything else you would like to do in this area?
I'm good.
Yeah, pretty much everything I was going to get from this.
Excellent. As you continue to move forward, you do come across a third, but this is different. This is different. Not only is the head chopped off, but so is the tail and two of the limbs. There is no ward. And there are 3 arrows sticking out of the corpse.
What type of creature is this one? Because the last one was canine in nature.
This one, you would guess, is similar. It seems to have the same type of fur coloration and same thickness of fur. Same types of paws.
So, my question would be, are the 2 limbs from both sides of the, like, well, did it take both the arms and both the legs, or an arm and a leg? Just try to figure out what we're looking at.
Looks like they took both of the front paws, both of the front feet.
Okay, and then my follow-up question would be, do the back legs look like they could support this thing standing up, as in on its haunches?
Possibly.
This one was like the other that we fought.
Mr. Razvan, you seem to be quite adept at judging the state of blood. How old is this one?
It does still appear older, correct?
Yes, much older.
Well, it was slain some time ago, and certainly not recent. Difficult to say with beasts this size exactly how quickly they're going to decompose, considering, well, the bog-like circumstances around us are going to do remarkably good things to preserve bodies.
You were to point a pattern, then we seem to be moving away from the fresher hunts, which might be good for us.
The fact
Let us just be thankful that it is not us that is being hunted.
No, stay on
True.
guard. This is the more dangerous prey, and it's not warded. We don't know the
So
nature.
comparably,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry. I was just going to say comparably size-wise, this one is smaller than the one that you all fought.
This one does appear to be not nearly as large. Still, what troubles me is the fact that we have not seen or heard anything related to this hunter, despite us being relatively close to their fresh prey. But I am certain, or at least I am confident, that our friend Onyx and perhaps Annoyance will find or hear something well before it becomes a threat to us.
Onyx just nods from the tree.
Might we keep moving?
Mrs. Onyx, have you spotted anything out of the ordinary so far? You have a vantage point that we do not have the privilege of.
Should I roll for perception?
You should. Thank you.
$13.
13. One thing is different from your vantage point. And that is that you do not see the signature blood trail. In fact, as you take a look around, there's the head, definitely canine in nature. There's the tail, about 15 feet away at a diagonal. No sign of the legs, though. Both appear to be sort of haphazardly in the foliage.
I don't see the blood trail from earlier, or just
There's no blood trail from this creature. It's all of the blood is pooled around, shall we say, its parts.
okay. The only thing that seems rather odd is there's no trail of blood. But apart from that, I don't see anything else.
Do you convey to your companions that the location of the head and the tail?
Yes. So I point at where the head and the tail are, and I found the rest of our canine friend, and then I point in that direction.
They left them behind. That is different. A lot of this one is different. Yet this is an
appears-
older hunt. Yes, Mr. Razvan?
Oh, I was going to say the same.
I am more concerned with the fact that this is most likely a werebeast, yet there is no ward against it, and they seem more concerned with the actual wolves they hunt.
However, if we are to be worried about the lack of a ward, this is the oldest corpse. So if there was any worry of it coming back, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. It's not my expertise. I don't know if an older body is more or less worrisome in that regard.
I don't know enough about the wards to speak to it. It's just something to take note. But right now, it's as dead as it can be. We should ignore it and head on our way.
If anything, whatever is hunting this swamp, at least is taking a lot of predators out of our list.
I will say, not that I know too much about politics. I have to wonder whose territory this was. And I have to wonder who's going to be angry on the other side of it.
Anyone who's angry about these things dying, I do not care. And Brand's just gonna start walking off.
Fair enough, suit yourself.
Somebody looks at Annoyance and asks them, how often do you find this kind of scene? Is this type of hunt something you've encountered before?
Oh no, not at all. We are getting far enough out of my usual territory that I can't say that I've seen much like it. It's quite fascinating, if you ask me. I don't know as anyone who would have done such a thing back from where I reside, would still be alive.
I can see that.
Unfortunately, at least in my, shall we say, neck of the woods, most of the people that, shall we say, were in positions of power were of the lupine kind. So many did not think to do such an act as this, lest they deal with the consequences, myself included, of course.
Consequences. And Humphrey thinks back to the town, to the bodies they found. He grips the handle of his short sword. Consequences, all right.
Yep, consequences. And someone, like head turns to the body on the ground, has a lot of audacity, that's for sure. Someone's very confident.
Can say I disapprove of it.
No, I'm not judging. Just an observation. Anything else that you would like to do or say while you're in this position, at this particular event, if you will?
Not really.
I'm good.
And as, for the sake of time, as the 5 of you continue to move deeper and deeper into the woods, more hours passing, and I will explain once we go offline exactly what kind of very short but a bit of a time skip is going to hit us. That is where we're going to call it for tonight's session.
Gotcha.
Alrighty.
Mysteries abound. But yeah, do we want to start going around the horn while I look for someplace to send us all?
Sure.
Awesome. One of you guys do it because I'm automatically not it always.
You know, that do make sense. I will go first, I suppose, as I don't usually go first, I don't think. It's me, Xanalis Grim, or Zan. You can find me over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Xanalis Grim. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from streaming until I get moved into my new place. But you can still find me Tuesdays over at Edward Bosco's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Edward Bosco at around 6 p.m. or so, where we're going to be getting back into Halo 5 Lasso, which is a nightmare of a time, but if you like to hear us scream at each other, there's that. And then on Thursdays, I'm going to continue my role as Bertrand Lockwood, the terminally sad human fighter in Monty's Dungeon of the Mad Mage series. We're pretty late into it, easily 70 plus episodes in. And if you want to, if that piques your interest, that is over on Monty Glue's channel, twitch.tv/MontyGlue, at around 7 p.m. PST. And for now, that's me, and I'll pass it over to Sheila.
Hi, I'm Sheila, and you can find me on only Instagram at Mugimira, MUGIMIRA.cause. I'm predominantly a cosplay page. And I will pass it on to Citric.
Me. Also, you started with, you can find me in only, and I'm like, whoa. Only what?
There is one place that I'm on. And Goodreads. And Goodreads.
You can find me in real life. Catch these hands.
I love that. Yeah.
But yeah.
Actually, that's how I'm going to start my intro next time. Someone remind me.
You can't find me. I live in the woods.
Good luck.
The government ain't getting my taxes.
Yeah, but you're also, but also now we know you're surrounded by werewolves.
Hey, I had someone randomly just come up to me yesterday at the Ren Fair, pulled up a picture of me dressed as Sanji. I was dressed as Zoro yesterday, and they pulled up a picture of me from my social media profile dressed as Sanji, and they're just like, "Is this you?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Amazing.
You should have been like, nah. You should have been like, nah, it's Sanji.
Citric, where can they find you?
Hi there, I'm Cedric. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Citricking. Everywhere being Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, made a Kara account. And just search me and you will find me. But yeah, I doodle stuff sometimes. A lot on my plate, so you probably won't see me posting much for a bit. But commissions should be opening sometime this month. Which is a lot of weeks. But yeah, that's pretty much me. So I'm throwing it back to Unblacking. Service, did you go?
I did not.
I thought so. To you.
Hello, you can find me all over the internet, except Kara, apparently, at Tixdixel, where I am, because we didn't say this earlier, where I'm making art like the art that you saw today. I am, in fact, the culprit behind that lovely, lovely feline creature. You can
Still
find
there.
that and other art. Still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, still there! Yeah, that particular feline creature, and you can find much, much more, both humanoid and animule, over on my art pages, where I'm doing a little bit of original content, a little bit of fan content. We're having a good time. You can also find me here on every other Saturday with our lovely channel friend Zako Duo, and of course Vaughn, where we are trying to fight the moon, I guess, for No Love War Extra. And then in 2 weeks, you'll find us all again here, playing the dungeons and fighting the dragons. And with that, Vaughn, why don't you take us away?
I would love to, but also, considering how many werewolves are here, I do not want there to be a dragon in this domain. Please!
You don't want a were-dragon?
No! I'm more mad that I've already showed you the Draconid stat block. That being said, hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, and over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar, where I'm gonna try. That's the best I can do. We got one new subscriber there, so now I really have to try, because people are actually coming. They're supporting me monetarily. I had to try to make something. So, with that being said, you'll find us tomorrow doing some more Wizard Sibs plays where we play through Resident Evil 5 with myself and Zymicide, with our good friend CG doing the helping as the archivist. I don't know. He has the walkthrough. And that's all on Zymicide's channel, not here. So go over there. Give them a follow. They do a lot of stuff. Besides that, Tuesday we have our Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign, which is Phase of Our Lives. Getting into the next episode of that. And then finally Saturday we have Saved by the Spell, where a lot has happened. Vampires are involved. Everyone's mad. There's going to be a fight. And yeah, that's good. So we're going to throw it over to some people that are doing some D&D that hasn't finished, that are all friends of the channel. Some people from Saved by the Spell. We're going to Farting Tart's channel, which also keep a lookout out on them, because they are working with some people who are involved with this month's Pride on Twitch. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they are part of a affiliate group with another person who has been like focused on for Pride Month. So yeah, they're doing a bunch of streams like that. But what should our message be?
I mean, Happy Pride is not a bad idea.
Oh, no, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
Happy
true.
Pride. Yeah. Okay, everybody, the message.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming out. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.